Hello, my friends, and welcome to 2025. Zillow just published their 2025 market report, and they believe that buying a house is going to be easier in 2025. Now, I beg to differ. Let's take a look. Zillow says that 2025 will prove to be a breather year for buyers. Slower home value growth and mortgage rates that stay below the peaks that we saw in 2024 will help us in 2025. Now, Zillow is saying that buying a home in 2024 was competitive, even though the affordability was off the charts. But they're saying more inventory should shake loose in 2025, giving buyers a bit more room to breathe. Really, more inventory. Where's that coming from, Zillow? Now, in doing some of my research for this video, I read many articles and watched many videos. There is an esteemed Wharton real estate professor, Susan Wachtler, who says that we have a tremendous locked-in effect in the real estate market. What does that mean? That means that those people who are locked in at a certain percentage mortgage rate, like at 4% or 5% or 3%, they are locked in and they're not going to trade their 4% interest rate for a 7% interest rate when they sell their home. And in fact, 45% of all mortgages are below 5%. So people are locked into keeping their home and staying there until further notice. So I don't see any more resales coming on the market. So although Zillow says there's going to be more people putting their homes on the market, that remains to be seen because of that locked-in effect. Now, Zillow says that home values are projected to grow at a very modest rate after several years of the previous skyrocketing values. 2025 is expected to offer more of the same. Home values nationally are forecasted to grow by only 2.6%, a softening that is welcome news for the stressed buyer. But guys, it's still an increase in prices, and the Case-Shiller Index, which is the gold standard, has said that in the last year, prices have gone up year over year 3.6%. So prices are actually still increasing. We don't have enough inventory. Now, this forecast is based on an assumption, and it's a big assumption, that interest rates are going to stay around 6.5%, and that more sellers will list their homes for sale, which I don't think is going to happen. Now, let's talk about those interest rates. Zillow is predicting that the mortgage interest rates are expected to ease and remain volatile. And given the volatility of the mortgage interest rates over the past 2 years, it's impossible to predict where the rates will land in 2025. Well, Zillow, thanks for that guidance, because you've told us nothing. You're giving us an educated guess that mortgage rates will be lower by the end of 2025 than they are right now. That's nothing specific that we can go with. But let's look at this logically, boys and girls. We've had 2 interest rate cuts by the Federal Reserve at the end of 2024. One for a half a basis point and one for a quarter basis point. Mortgage rates were expected to go down, and except for a brief period of time, they have remained high, stubbornly high. And the Federal Reserve also has just told us that inflation is again starting to rise. And the number of rate cuts that were forthcoming that they had projected for 2025 are going to be less than they projected. So in my opinion, I think that mortgage rates are going to be challenging throughout the year. And we also have some potentially strong headwinds coming our way with a brand new Trump administration coming in, with the threat of tariffs on products that are used to build our new homes and fix up our older ones as well as the threat of deporting skilled laborers, home builder workers that are doing jobs that Americans don't want to do, could present an issue as far as new home prices and the number of new builds are concerned. We need new builds. So yes, anyone who can tell you where mortgage rates are going to be is guessing. One thing that I can tell you pretty much guarantee for sure is that we're not going back to 3%. As we speak, a 30-year fixed mortgage rate is about 7%. 15-year fixed mortgage rate is about 6.5%. Now, obviously, every loan is going to be different. VA loan, FHA, jumbo, but you're talking 6.5%, 7% right at this moment. The affordability for the entry-level buyer is going to be difficult. We're going to be seeing that in markets across the country. The entry-level buyer is definitely being adversely affected. Now, the move-up buyer, the luxury buyer, the higher-end buyer, those who can pay cash or can get a mortgage without worrying about the interest rates, they continue to be very, very strong. That segment of the market continues to be off the charts. If the house is priced right, those homes are selling like hotcakes. My name is Eli Magids, and I'm a real estate advisor here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and the surrounding areas of Charlotte, specializing in luxury homes, custom homes, and new home construction. But most importantly, I am your realtor with heart. I'm not trying to sell you a house, but here to help you find a home and a lifestyle that you and your family are going to love. Think that we are a good fit? I'd love to hear from you. Feel free to reach out, call, or text. And if you're not coming to Charlotte, but you're still looking to move, let's say you're moving from New York to Florida and you're looking for someone who is experienced in luxury real estate, I am associated with luxury realtors throughout the country, and I can put you in touch at no cost to you. If you're looking for that assistance, feel free to reach out to me as well, and I'll put you in touch with some of this country's best advisors. Now, Zillow has also said that Americans are going to start cocooning, like we're caterpillars, and they're looking for smaller spaces. After several years of living large, Americans appear ready, according to Zillow, to start cocooning. They're looking for cozy homes. In fact, listings that mention cozy homes jumped by more than 35% in 2024. Home buyers are embracing smaller, cozier spaces for affordability. Now, the trend is driven mostly by cost. Smaller homes tend to cost less and are usually cheaper to insure and don't require as many furnishings and are less expensive to heat and cool. Taxes are less, and people are starting to do some cocooning. But new homes, even smaller ones, are not cheap. Prices of labor and raw materials are high. Home builders are making less profit nowadays. Good, I'm glad for that. Just to keep inventory moving, but even smaller homes continue to be pricey. New construction homes are picking up some of the slack for the lack of resales. But in parts of the country where there are no new construction homes, where there's no land, things are very, very tight. They say that inventory is growing, but it's not good inventory, guys. It's inventory that's been sitting on the market for a long time, and it's homes that are in bad condition. So you're not getting a big spike in inventory of really good, desirable homes. Now, guys, all real estate is local. What's happening here in Charlotte is not the same as in California. So the projections are that Hartford, Connecticut is expected to have the largest bump up in values, growing at 4.2%. New Orleans is expected to have the largest decline, a 3.8% decline over the same period, year over year. Now, the top metro areas where home values are expected to increase most in 2025 are Hartford, Connecticut, Providence, Rhode Island, Miami, Florida, Charlotte, North Carolina, where I'm based, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Now, the metro areas where home values are expected to decline are in the aforementioned New Orleans, which is expected to go down 3.8%. San Francisco is expected to go down 0.3%, followed by Austin, which is leveling out, which is great. And there are minor increases in Sacramento, Minneapolis, and Denver. Now, going back to my Wharton real estate professor Professor Wachter, she says that the largest number of homes that are going to be sold are going to be new homes because of the lack of resale homes available. She says that the very best case scenario is where we have economic growth of 3% and slowing inflation. And she's hoping that mortgage rates get down to 5.5% to 6%. Now that's an absolute best case scenario for her. Now, guys, we also have to remember that back in the day, like when my parents bought a house, they were paying 13 or 14% interest rates. If you want a house and you can afford a house, you should buy a house. Just keep in mind that in addition to mortgage payments, property taxes are going up and are high, insurance is going up and is high, and now those costs are approaching and sometimes even surpassing the cost of just your mortgage. And upkeep of a house is expensive, guys. So in short, the luxury buyer, higher end buyer remains strong, but I see the entry-level buyer still having difficulties this year. Stay tuned to the same bat channel, same bat time, and let's see where things pan out. And if you like this video, please check out these other videos. Thank you so much for watching. And until we see each other again, next time.